and welcome to the SmackDown preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by darling Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review SmackDown, but also the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup that we complete with a very good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Hey, one of the few blue things left around here.
Fingers crossed.
Don't know, we're recording this ahead of the election result here in the UK. It's Thursday afternoon.
It's on you, right? If this goes wrong now, you just said that.
It's definitely my fault.
You. I've tried really hard not to jinx it.
People often say that we're ridiculous playing that at the start, but it's justified after recent weeks of SmackDown, and of course it's the go-home show ahead of Money in the Bank this weekend.
And of course, because of where it is, it's the Toronto Film Festival, right?
Oh
my God.
Yeah, just because it's in Toronto, isn't it?
Press the wrong one. I got a little bit of Lou Bega.
Oh yeah, we can't have that, can we? Get us demonetized. Yeah. Right. SmackDown, I think, needed what's happened in the last couple of weeks. I know we disagree.
It's just been building towards it. Let it play out, yeah.
Fairer than your flippant tone makes it sound, that is, genuinely. Like, don't be fooled by Adam Wilbourn kind of f***ing you around. Yeah, like, there is an argument, especially with the Bloodline story, I think, where they delay and they delay and they tease and they pause and they delay and they tease and all that. Because when the big stuff hits, my God, does it hit. Like, we've talked for years about how, you know, the big Bloodline segments of, say, 2022 with Sami Zayn, or in 2023 when the Usos were finally making their choices and all of that. Those moments, those things you remember, the stuff that sticks with you, that's your thing about it. Like, they happen because a lot of the time it feels like nothing's happening, but you're being asked to sort of live with the characters a little bit longer. One of my favourite examples of this ever, it's probably one of the perfect cases of nothing's happening, but look what's happening, is the time they did the gag, the three-part cutaway gag, where Roman's trapped Sami in his locker room, and Sami somehow got popcorn.
Yeah.
And then Roman's, what the hell is it? Next cut to, Roman's got popcorn too.
Yeah.
He's like, that's pretty good, actually. Next cut to, Sami's so excited by the Usos win, and he's just jacking the popcorn everywhere, right? Nothing really happened, but what a bit of character development all of that was. So, of late, when people were I was trying to maintain a bit of balance and perspective when, like, you know, it's Tama Tonga. He brings with him kind of like a mixed in-ring legacy, and how much you buy him as a threat is kind of just about how much you buy him, full stop. Even more so with Tonga Loa. Even more, like, that's all, completely based on how much you're willing to buy. The commentators telling you he's frightening. The Solo Sikoa telling you he's scary. Paul Heyman selling the fear, all of that. All on your own individual sort of investment in these. This is an idea more than as a something that's playing out in front of you. Not anymore. Not since Jacob Fatu's shown up. Now, it's not just the subjective investment. It's not just the hypothetical damage these people can do. It's the fact that it's happened. Jacob Fatu has beaten up all your favourite baby faces to the point where we've already got a multi-man chaos match at Money in the Bank out of it. He's played his part in physically extricating Paul Heyman from the group as a result of Paul Heyman showing his loyalty to Roman Reigns. And what does that mean? Well, firstly, that boy needs therapy. But it also means that Paul Heyman, by linking himself to Roman, kind of detaches Roman from Solo.
Yes.
But then Solo said he was doing it for Roman. So was he in fact doing it for Roman, or was he in fact doing it for The Rock? Whatever, you know.
Just say Roman was never coming back as well.
Yeah. So all of these things have kind of needed.
Where did he get the Ula Vala?
Yeah.
The lay, or I do
Where
apologise.
Where has he taken that from? My theory is that he's taken it from The Rock, who took it from Roman, and he gave one of those little like things off it to Cody when he said, "Don't break my heart again," that kind of stuff.
Make you break your heart, yeah.
I just don't think you'd understand. Our podcast today.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
The glass breaks. So yeah, I think with the Bloodline at this point, you've kind of, I wouldn't say you've returned it to the SmackDown to the heights of the summer of 2022, but you have categorically, without question, doubt, or cynicism, established the big bads.
Yes.
The Friday nights, the big bads of the blue brand, the reason. And what's great about having big bads on SmackDown, and I've gone so around the houses to make this point, but it's a point I was trying to make without evidence for it earlier this year, is that Raw in 2023, are we near the Omega button there? Mm-hmm. Raw in 2023.
Oh my God.
I just loved it.
Yeah.
Every week, Cody and the goodies try and deal with the baddies that were mostly the Judgment Day. Rotation, but whatever. It was just, it felt so alive with possibilities, combinations, and great matches, great promos, all that sort of stuff. This is what gets you back to that on SmackDown. Because as soon as the AJ Styles match concluded and the Bloodline arrived up in Cody's business, you're like, oh, this is top of the card stuff.
Yeah.
This is main event concern. And sure enough, what have we got? A massive match for Money in the Bank. A presumed SummerSlam title match with Solo Sikoa. All of a sudden, the big guys doing big guy stuff on SmackDown has made the show. Yes, Punk and Drew dropped in their thing to elevate that episode from Chicago, but ultimately it just feels massive. It feels absolutely massive. I'm so envious of everybody attending SmackDown in Toronto. I can't... I know we've done previewed Money in the Bank 16 times, and I still can't remember the name of the venue where these shows are taking place.
It's the Scotia Wank Arena.
Thank you for that. When you gonna come? So yeah, it's like it is once again a hot ticket, and it finds itself in a traditionally very hot market, in a hot venue.
Yeah.
Following on from Chicago and Madison Square Garden. They could be really onto something here.
Yeah, and one would assume most people who've got tickets to SmackDown have tickets for the night after. So it's not like you are going to necessarily underdeliver it. We all know how it works with the go-home show. You know, people were saying the same thing about being slightly disappointed with Clash of the Castle, and then look at the show that we got after that.
The Hydro SmackDown.
Yeah, it's all forgotten immediately afterwards. And I think everything's in place. You've done all the Money in the Bank qualifiers, you know, et cetera, et cetera. The big title matches are kind of coming from Raw, of course. I think we can have an opportunity to have another epic Cody Rhodes promo. But how surreal is this? Cody Rhodes kind of going to bat for Paul Heyman. Like, I know they've had that amazing back and forth between the two of them.
Mr. Heyman.
Yeah, and the line about, like, Roman was basically the son he wished he'd had.
Yeah.
About Dusty, obviously.
Dusty's kids and all that, yeah.
But, like... Yeah, I may have had my issues with Mr. Heyman, but I never put my hands on him.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something like along those lines. Like he believes...
even Roman, you know.
Yeah. Wrestling does have more than one royal family, but you are not living up to the royalty in your bloodline. I know this because I've basically wined and dined, not with kings and queens, but with tribal chiefs. And I've lived to tell the tale. And you, sir...
You could have a meal with Nia Jax and Gunther.
Just as a segment.
Wine and dine with kings and queens then, haven't
I love it.
Sorry. Queen Nia, where are my manners?
Oh, like the dinner debonair too, but in front of like just a piping hot crowd. Piping hot food in front of a piping hot crowd. Food and fed. That's our new video.
What are they going to drink, though, if they need something for sustenance?
Dew. Mountain Dew.
Absolutely not. WWE Prime. That's what they're going to drink.
Give neither of those to your kids. I won't even endorse Mountain Dew for your kids. I'll endorse it for me. Send it my way. Send it by the box load. Food and fed. Can we do that? Hey, our bosses, can we go following WWE around all the shows? We'll make as many towns as Cody on your dime, and we'll eat the town's local delicacy for 6 months.
Deal.
Food and fed, the road to WrestleMania.
Via SummerSlam and Survivor Series and all the others.
Starring the Dudley Boys. Okay.
We'll work on it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know whether you have the bloodline on this.
Well fed. Starring the Dudley Boys.
Do you have the bloodline on this show? Or do you just say they've been banned from the building after what they did last week? Or, here's my idea. So I was just looking up as you were talking there for and there's nothing against them. And I know they were complaining the other day about not being used for some shows. I just needed some heels that aren't doing anything but also aren't involved in a thing right now. to like sidle up to the Bloodline and be like, saw what you did to Paul Heyman last week. I'm glad he got what was coming to him. Ooh. And then they get murdered by the Bloodline as well.
I like that. Yeah, Paul Heyman's got plenty of enemies. They were really one of my favorite developments of 2023 was the Jey Uso moving to Raw thing. They were really loyal to like people remembering the damage the Bloodline had done to their lives. So yeah, I would like that actually.
I like the idea of them thinking like, oh well, they're cool now.
Well, yeah.
No, they are. There's now literally no tether on them.
Yeah,
he was the guy who was like, we'll keep it in the locker room until we don't, and then we'll bring it out. And he was already losing control of that. Mm-hmm. Now, you could just have Jacob Fatu kill someone backstage.
Yeah.
Because he's just...
Because it's like all better.
He has to do it. He's got bloodlust.
Yes. Bloodlust. That's what they should be called, the bloodlust. You know, we have like new Bloodline 2.0, the bloodlust.
The new bloodlust.
Just the bloodlust. I think that's great. Bloodlust. And then when, obviously, because Cody has to enlist in his family to help this family battle, it's Bloodlust versus Goldust.
Works.
And Stardust.
And Stardust, yeah.
Well, no. The Bloodline
is it just a Cody promo tonight, you reckon?
No.
Okay.
Far from it. Because we've covered every single combination of an iteration of this match in our multiple Money in the Bank previews, so we're going to do a different one. A third way. Speaking of third way, I'm the 90s, vote Labour. If you didn't already in the past. They have banter in the past. They have elections in the past. Or just don't vote the Tories. I'm not even married to that.
Too late. It's gone out on Friday.
Oh, thank God.
Polls are closed.
It's all taken care of, hopefully. Train of thought's gone way off the track shit again.
Third way.
4-on-4.
Yes, they need a fourth member.
Yeah, and they're beating down the Bloodline. Bloodlust are beating down the babyfaces, and the babyfaces are saved by Jimmy Uso.
Oh my God.
Who goes straight for Solo. Actually looks a threat. Jacob Fatu sees him. It's the first time the monster has stopped.
Ooh.
Not that, like, you know, it doesn't, they measure it just right. Big brawl, big mass brawl. Jimmy Uso, what the f***? Like, they're all having a big fight. And, like, it's suddenly, like, and obviously he's the hot babyface saving the day. And he's punching them and they're all bumping and that. And then Jacob and him stand face to face briefly. And it's the first time Jacob's actually stopped. And then before they can, either of them can deal with that, the brawl's back on, they both get taken out by different people, and that's how SmackDown goes off the air. Well, I guess we know our teams for Saturday. 4-on-4.
That works. I like that.
Yep. Features in absolutely none of our coverage if it does, because we've already pre-recorded the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. But as an alternative, I like it.
And it means that both Usos are present for Money in the Bank. And Jay might have to consider that, like, his brother's in the building, what does that mean for him for Money in the Bank?
Moment where they just pass each other.
Something, you know.
I like that.
Jimmy's not wearing his No Yeet t-shirt. Who was telling him no yeet? Roman Reigns. Where's he? Where's all of that? That world has crumbled. What remains of it?
So we sort of know, like I say, everything that's going on at Money in the Bank, and therefore this show is tag team turmoil, basically, isn't it?
Tag week.
Let's start.
Actually, no, if I may, can we start with a bit of a podcast admin?
Go on.
If you're watching this on Friday before Money in the Bank, great.
Podmin,
yes. We're entering our second annual Wacky Summer.
Oh, yeah.
So we should probably talk about this now. And I'm gutted to report this, won't be able to review Money in the Bank, or indeed anything next week, because there's also an NXT show happening on the Sunday, they're not.
NXT. Well, I like it warm, don't like it this warm.
I won't be able to review that. I won't be able to review anything next week. In fact, I won't be able to review anything for a week and a half because I'm not in now until a week on Wednesday.
No,
okay.
No, he's busy, of course, with
these nuts.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was going to be the school holidays music.
Oh, the school. Yeah, you thought it was going to be the block.
School's out for summer.
The block party and Kylie Minogue buttons.
Yeah, that was
going
it.
to both those gigs. The button that says, "Oh, you're doing stuff because it's your kids last week in school," sort of button. That button. Yeah. So I've got to be off for a week and a bit. Shortly after that, Sidge is going to be taking his summer holiday. In between all of this, you are also off.
Yeah.
And having a root canal. I wish I was making some of this up. And it just kind of goes from this.
A button for root canal over here.
Egg.
Tooth. What you got?
Does he have no...
Fillings.
Does he have no feelings? Does he have no teeth? Anyway, between now and like what? September? August?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Probably in the middle of August. It'll sort of return to normal, but it's going to get a bit wacky for a few weeks, isn't it? It's either going to be 2 of us, 1 of us, and none of us. And the studio is going to be haunted. Yeah, sorry. Really sorry. If you're not seeing a podcast, it's not your feed. Do not adjust your sets.
Pay attention, please.
Because they will be back as soon as we're able to get them back.
No!
I think that's the problem to take care of. But don't worry. Got a couple of special guests lined up to come in and do some podcasts separately. Right. Al.
Murray.
Al Murray.
Oh, it's Andy Murray. Sorry, I got confused.
No, not Murray. I was actually thinking about Bret Hart and Steve Austin. No, well, actually, if we're not doing podcasts, assume they're going to be the wrestlers who have these themes. Get a couple of random things.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be... Are we going to get demonetized on YouTube for this?
Play a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Right, great. She's already on it, so she knows the buttons and stuff. So she's going to do it for you, and...
You know you want.
Great. So Nia Jax and Jillian Hall will be running podcasts for us in our absence until we're back. So look forward to them. We're really sorry. You're going to have to miss out on this complete nonsense for a few days. Genuinely, it's we hate having to miss ones.
Yay!
No, don't do that. You're undermining the message. I don't think we've been clear enough. But Wilbourn and Sidge are going to bank a couple of podcasts.
Oh! Teachable moment! Teachable moment!
And I never stop watching wrestling, so I'll be kicking around on X regardless of what I'm up to. Yeah, well, yeah, based on this weekend. Yeah. Any further questions? Any questions?
How are you getting to your gigs at the weekend?
It wasn't my car.
It's true as well. Shoot. Go in somebody else's car. That's really got you.
I was genuinely thinking there, I wonder if I can get through the entire podcast without saying another words. If I ever lose my voice, I'm still coming in because we can make this work.
You had a root canal and it's just an entire soundboard. That's all.
Oh. From the last time I had, like, they got halfway through and gave up. I was just like, well, this is fine. I don't see what... now I understand what they were saying.
So, yeah. If you just
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're not going away. We're just not going to be as regular as we'd like for a
Sounds like you're telling your kids you're going separate ways. I'm not going away, son. I'm just going to live around somewhere else.
I'll give you love. Well, I don't like not putting pods out. I don't like the feed going a day or so without stuff. You more than me. Like, I hate that feeling of so sorry, everybody.
Sorry.
But it will be back to regularly scheduled bollocks as soon as possible. More of this, more of the same.
Yes. And then everybody will be saying, yes, boy! Speaking of which, pretty deadly in action against the Street Profits tonight on SmackDown.
What's this then? Like, the Street Profits are just like, where were you? It doesn't matter, we're back. And Street Profits, do they think they're still good? In kayfabe, I mean, we love the Street Profits, love them, but who doesn't? But they're massive losers.
Well, I have a theory.
Okay.
Based on something else that's happening on this show as well, i.e. the SmackDown Tag Team Titles match. I think this is the start of Street Profits racking up some wins to earn themselves a title shot to then screw DIY, maybe even in Cleveland.
Ooh. So
if you're going to turn them heel, you've sort of half-arsed it so many times, turn them proper heel. Turn them in a place where no one will cheer them.
Yep.
And that's screwing DIY in Cleveland, SummerSlam, tag titles. So this is just the first step on that road.
Well, what is the opposite of when you do those crashing cars for Collision? Like, how would you have them kind of miss each other? Right? Beep, beep. Reverse. Beep. That's us. Because I think A-Town Down are going to retain against DIY.
Ooh.
I don't think DIY win. I think as much as they're as good as anybody to win the tag titles, DIY, I actually think that A-Town Down Under sort of survive this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another team who I haven't decided yet who are the ones to be the beneficiaries of the breakup. We're getting the Grayson Waller, Austin Theory breakup. He's kind of starting to use, Austin Theory is starting to, tease turning babyface. Grayson Waller started to use him a little bit and just save himself a couple of beatings. But I don't think this is the team or the night. I think they're leaning on Toronto law for DIY, and I get that, but I think they're getting beat.
Atlanta, Georgia, if that helps.
For when?
That's where he's from.
Oh, A-Town, yeah.
Yeah.
So they could get heat in Atlanta when...
Trained by A.R. Fox. I never knew that.
Well, you wouldn't, because you didn't know A.R. Fox,
Didn't
did you?
until Dynamite came along. No, definitely not.
I don't think DIY are winning this. You do, don't you?
Yeah, to talk about that match, yes, I think so. And maybe you do the rematch. I don't know. Like you say, I am conflicted because it feels like if you're doing it now, you're less than a month away from SummerSlam. Why wouldn't you just do it then? Maybe there'll be shenanigans here. Maybe there'll be
a four-way with this 4 teams at SummerSlam just because.
Yeah, I mean, I love all 4 teams. That works for me. Mm-hmm. What if for the finish of that match, who do you think wins out of Street Profits and Pretty Deadly quickly, actually?
Pretty Deadly.
Yes, boy.
Yes, Pretty Deadly.
I think they lose, and therefore I'm just going to keep banging this drum until it happens. And they have to find solace under the wing of a champion as the jesters.
We do love that.
The Queen's Court. But I actually think that people are really overlooking what a banger of a match that could be, Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember when Pretty Deadly were the NXT Tag Champions? And the whole deal was they were committed to cheating more than they were winning. Every week there was a different finish about how they were getting the win, and it was just they've got away with it again. It was never...
hiding the ring apron and stuff, wasn't they? Yeah.
It was almost like their job to come up with a way to cheat that week. I would like to see them get going with that and start, you talk about the Street Profits building wins. I'd like to see them do it instead. They're kind of back. You can take them just seriously enough, even though they're kind of sneaking it each time. And then all of a sudden, they're contenders. That's what I think.
I really, really like the Pretty Deadly lads, obviously. But I think Street Profits have to win this one. But yeah, in terms of the tag match, if it's not a title switch for DIY or just at least a delaying of that, what about this? Okay, so how's this working? So people are saying that Grayson Waller's out for himself or doesn't care what happens to Austin Theory so long as he retains the title, right?
Yeah.
What if DIY are in control, Grayson Waller is completely isolated in the ring, Austin Theory's trying to tag him in, but Grayson Waller either can't get over to tag in or doesn't want to because he thinks he's the best person in the team. Again, this team's all about him, really.
Yeah.
But then DIY get either just Grayson Waller or, as they've done before the Revival, both members of the tag team in a submission move in the middle of the ring. It's like, this is it. They're going to tap. And maybe even Grayson goes to tap and Austin stops him and says, no, we can get out of this.
Okay.
And then someone, hang on, why am I saying someone? Pick a number between 1 and 8.
6.
I don't know why I asked that because I've not even scrolled through. So
6 when you get there.
All right. There,
I'll take 6 when you get there.
And then who appears in the ring but Luke Gallows?
Okay.
Who is a paid mercenary.
Yep.
Because Grayson Waller has said, if it looks like we're about to lose the titles, come in and kick the crap out of Austin Theory, which causes disqualification, leads us to win, and mean that we don't lose our titles.
And he's just allowed his partner to get his arse.
Don't beat me up.
Yeah. You can beat him up and we can get the DQ. That's fine. Yeah.
Then you and I can have a shoey, obviously.
And give the Good Brothers a title shot as a thank you. I think you figured it out. think you've cracked it.
DIY come in and go, not having that. And then that's another team you can add in along with, let's say, Street Profits.
One last counter offer.
Go on.
So that's happened. So DIY are in real trouble now. But because it's in Toronto and they're like cult Canadian heroes as a result.
That's the reason why I think the titles might switch hands, by the way, because obviously the history there.
In Toronto, they're kind of, for this night, they're honorary Canadians. And if you're needing somebody to back them up to maybe even the odds, and a famous guitar riff with screech around the building, I think you know what I'm talking about. No. Yeah. It's Bret Hart. Yeah, and you just get a nice appearance of Bret the Hitman Hart, because if he's not appearing at Money in the Bank, check out the video for how we think that might go down.
Or podcast.
Indeed. Maybe he's going to treat the audience to an appearance at SmackDown. Be nice, wouldn't it? It was just his birthday.
Was it?
Happy belated birthday, Bret. July the 2nd. Happy birthday, Bret.
That's Bret. I saw a photo of him and Snoop Dogg.
I'd put the title on you today if I could.
Yeah, it was. 67.
Get in. Good age.
Great stuff. Yeah, that'd be a nice thing that they could do.
They've lost the match or whatever, but here's Bret and celebrates with DIY. And just a night, even though they've not won the titles, you've got like a nice thing in the building. Be nice, wouldn't it?
I mean, DIY would prefer to celebrate with DX, but you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that's it. Like Gargano swings from him, Bret just takes him out and batters him.
Yeah, Gargano's gone full HBK, and Bret's forgot his glasses and goes, prick.
Comes out and saves them. You've unlocked it now. Comes out and saves them, and then Gargano's like, Bret, no, I like Sean. So he steals Bret's Canadian flag and starts humping it like Montreal in 97. And Bret's like, I'm going to kill you, mate. And then just puts sharpshooter on him, like while he's wrapping a Canadian flag.
For Brian this week, if you and I were going to cosplay as a tag team, who are you going for?
I love the idea of the Hart Foundation, because I think you'd suit the Night Hart beard and the laugh. Yeah, baby, like all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And that means I get to be Bret, and I love any situation where I get to be Bret.
There must be like a WWE tag team generator,
nice,
surely.
Me and Sid, you've kind of like made up for some good Nasty Boys photoshops lately, so that's them taken care of.
Too Cool's always there.
Yes.
I don't want to regenerate a tag team.
Grandmaster Wilby and Scotty 2 Hammy. Who else could we be? It's weird because WWE didn't have tag teams for 20 years. So, you know. Yeah, is there a random tag generator?
I've just found this, which is the online world of wrestling, and it just says tag teams. And by the looks of it, it's got all sorts in there. Ever, APA, Beer Money, Bolsheviks.
I think we'd be potentially the Brainbusters, because I'm ancient like Arn Anderson, and you could wind everybody up like Tully Blanchard. So that might work. Well, what about like...
Be quite good as the vaudevillains.
Yes, that could work.
But that's not how this game works. I am scrolling through this.
Brian, put our heads on these, because we are now...
Where are my manners, by the way?
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game!
Which tag team should me and Hamflett cosplay as? Sorry, I forgot about the team of Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, and Super Crazy.
Yeah, big 2006 energy to that.
Yeah.
Right. Stop.
Hang on, I was looking at their bio there. Okay, I'm going again.
Stop.
Okay, you get... How many is one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 21 potential.
Pro Evo rules, or are we just going...
Yeah, Pro Evo rules.
2.
Okay. The Colossal Connection.
Oh, yeah. That's Andre the Giant and Haku.
Yeah.
Who, like, Haku has tried to batter you before.
Yeah.
So, and he's Bloodline adjacent. And who doesn't want to be Andre? All the way to the Taps, brother. Imagine how much cereal Andre could get through. I was thinking about an Andre the Giant promo just this morning, you know, because it's when he first teases that he might turn on Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's won a trophy for like holding the WWE title for 3 years, and Andre doesn't congratulate him, and it would prove to be sinister. But at the time, he just like, oh, all right, Andre. He just sort of looks at him.
Mate.
And he just looks at him and he goes, 3 years. That's a long time. And then just walks away. Chuckling at. And I got up this morning and I just sort of thought, like, 14 years. A long time. And I thought I might do an Andre thing. And I just forgot to get around to the tweet. Might do it after the exit polls, which have already happened.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Well, just for interest, let's do another round.
Yeah. Well, stick or twist, so we'll twist.
Okay.
Stop.
21.
19.
God, hang on. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. No. 19. You are not going to be skipping past this one because it's one of our favourite tag teams ever. I'm talking, Brian, about putting me and Michael Hamflett in. Drumroll, please. Men on a mission.
Oh, yeah! Yes. I don't care. Do you want to be Mabel?
I don't. You can't lose.
I'll do more.
If you haven't seen it, I don't know how you're going to find it. We'll try and dig it out on X. Nicholas's 21 seconds of Mo in the Rumble.
21 seconds to Mo.
It's one of the. It's genuinely, and he's done phenomenal work throughout his time at WhatCulture. One of his finest things he's ever done.
I think so. Yeah. I'd love to be Men on a Mission. I'd have loved it then.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, like, imagine being Mabel, goated. Imagine being Mo and being mates with Mabel, goated. Like the. You're thinking of the video now, aren't you? Mo, do a face.
Got it.
You got any more?
Yeah, just this one. I only got this face.
This is the moneymaker.
Right. One final thing to talk about on SmackDown, because that's what we're meant to be talking about. It's been a long old day, this. We're nearly there.
Like, Men on a Mission, Mom and Dad.
Brilliant.
Dickheads and Dindins.
Don't forget your Dadly Dindins tonight. 7 p.m?
Yeah, 7 p.m.
Bang your bin at your front door at 7 p.m.
Dadly Dindin.
Dadly Dindins.
Pots
To
of
show
podcasters.
appreciation. Hey, show some goddamn appreciation for the business.
Respect the business. It's Shark Week.
And finally, quite rightly, considering they cost
Oh, yeah.
Jade her spot in Money in the Bank, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are going to kill Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
They sure are. It's an easy win. There's a kickoff happening. Not like a fight. There's one of, they did it in Glasgow and Cody Rhodes was like crowd surfing. It looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
The free event. They're doing one of them, and I can't remember if they did like rallies before WrestleMania, like the open air things. Because I was at that terrifying and brilliant show that was taking place on a skate ramp under a motorway.
Yeah.
And at the same time, there was the big WWE fan event thing.
It was weird seeing the the countdown show, the way we saw the worm and stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing that get filmed when we walked into it, it was just
just right there.
I was like, Ito! He can't hear me. He can't hear me.
We're friends. You and Phil!
Yeah.
Phil! You're under... I said you're under a Pepsi logo, Phil! I'm like Roman Reigns because I just want him to acknowledge me.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Yeah, the cool-ass event they did in Glasgow. I think they need to do something like that in Toronto. Or Toronto. So I don't know if it's outside the venue beforehand, out of the venue, whatever. But I sort of have my suspicions here that this is just a bit of it's one of the big WWE weekends. Bianca and Jade are on all of them because they're massive stars. They were at Backlash France. They were at Clash at the Castle in Glasgow. They were over in Saudi Arabia on the pre-show, defeating same opponents, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. So I think they're doing it again. And I honestly think it's just an excuse to have them as massive stars appear everywhere. They're draws. They're interesting. They're going to win this match. They're going to say they're back on track. They're going to try and win the tag titles. They're going to fail. And we're going to start heading towards the Foo-Ed. But they win here. They win here. They win. Everything looks fine.
You heard it here first. Bill Coulter is going to make an appearance on tonight's SmackDown because they're going to say, Bill, any predictions for this weekend? And of course, Bill, being the trusted voice and first stop of the day for Toronto commuters who tune into CP24 Breakfast, for the latest weather news, can say, looks about...
To my Canadian listeners, I have to say sorry.
About time for a storm, eh? It's coming. You say storm's coming, Phil. That's the thing. Come on, mate. Play the game. Sweeter, actually, now.
These nuts and the butthole. Remember that?
Yeah. Never forget.
Yeah. Right. That's that then.
We done for the week. And if we don't see you through week, we'll see you through window.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Sorry, guys.
How many podcasts have we done today?
Too many. 6, I think.
Yeah.
Is content? Is this still a thing? Are we on
Is
it?
this content? Is this content?
Is it? Do I look content to you? Do I?
But I'm sure you're very contented with our output. Let us know your thoughts ahead.
Yeah, shut up. If you're at Block Party or Kylie, come and say hello because you're also a person of taste and talk wrestling to me on X while I'm off because I like loads of busy family stuff and I love them, I do. But I love this.
They never talk to you about wrestling.
Never, not none of them. My wife, my kids, they don't give a shit about this stuff. And that's why what goes on in X really matters to me. So yeah, please continue to send stuff. I don't care if it's spoilers, whatever. I'll be catching up on this stuff as soon as I can. Sid was like to me within the office. It just looked like he's like, when are you going to watch all the stuff when you get back? And I was like, well, get back on Monday, but I have to spend some time with the kids and that. And
have to.
No, I don't mean like that. But they'll go to school for a bit on Tuesday, and I've got a bit of time in between a couple of things we got to get done. So there'll be SmackDown and Money. SmackDown? Money in the Bank will happen. It's like, yeah, but there's 2 hours before it.
Yeah.
There's more. So yeah, I'll be watching all of it. So
Amazing.
I don't want to miss a thing, even though I will, and then I'll catch up with it.
Me and Sid will be back on Monday to review Money in the Bank and deal with all the fallout from it, of course, and talk about NXT Wave as well. We'll try and do as much as we can next week. I do apologise in advance, though. But let us know your thoughts ahead of SmackDown tonight on X or in the comments section. We're on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. You can follow both of us there. In fact, you can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. As we mentioned, you can also check out our Money in the Bank preview as well today. But yes, looking forward to tonight's episode of SmackDown. The Money in the Bank go-home show, whether or not we see whether or not DIY could become tag team champions. You've got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, the Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. And who on earth can now stop the Bloodline?
The SmackDown preview for a week or so for the last time. It's got all this and so much more.
We'll see you soon.